Welcome to The Midpoint, conversations with the extraordinary people building the American innovation economy from the inside out. I'm Patrick McKenna, founder of One America Works. Well, welcome to The Midpoint. I'm Patrick McKenna, founder of One America Works and partner at Comeback Capital. Today we are in Cleveland with a Connecting the Coast to the Heartland event. So we're live. We have 300 people just outside of where we're recording now. I am joined by Nida Ansari. Welcome to the day here. Nida is in Indianapolis. So she's with HG Ventures. And today we're going to be talking about a couple things that not a lot of people know about. So we're going to be talking about the secrets of Indianapolis. And also what I was learning about before we sat down was hard tech in Indianapolis, but also in Indiana in general. So welcome to the program.
Well, thank you for having me.
So what are your first impressions of Cleveland?
Not been here in quite some time. The last time I was here was in a completely different role. So it's a really cool city. Seems to have a lot going on. I was just talking to a founder out there, and they said this was effectively the innovation district. There's a lot innovation and / cultural district. So a lot going on. Had not given it credit for in terms of the startup ecosystem. The last time I was here, I was working for a very large enterprise. So very
cool. We have Case Western. We have a lot of stuff going on here. But I'd like to talk to you about Indianapolis. Now, this is where you're based. You're spending your time and your energy. What a lot of people don't know is how successful Indianapolis has been and Indiana in general. So what's the secret?
One of the big ones is connectedness. So a year ago, we did a study, the same size cities all over the world. And what we found was that Indianapolis was really, really connected in terms of people, right? So it's not just people, resources, workforce, talent, all of the things that kind of come together in a special recipe to make it a cool place to start a business. And we've leveraged that over the last few years.
So this is connected within Indianapolis or?
Within Indianapolis, to people new to Indianapolis. And I can speak to that because I've been there less than 2 years. I feel like I've just walked in and got plugged in. It wasn't a ton of work. Everything is a ton of work, so it's relatively speaking, this is my 7th city. But this was the easiest city I found to get plugged in for the resources that I need. What that generally means is that, you find a person or two to call, and they'll go out of their way to help.
Well, it seems like there's other connections too, right? Because you have Salesforce did the big acquisitions of ExactTarget.
Yep.
And so you have a global company who has actually grown their footprint there and actually connected not only the people there, but across the country and the world. Has that made a big impact?
Of course, yeah, absolutely. The tech SaaS ecosystem, ExactTarget and Salesforce put Indianapolis on the map. What this next wave potentially looks like is hard tech, where and we heard some of the panelists refer to it earlier, where hardware, physical processes, things you can touch and feel come together in a unique way.
Yes.
With technology, with SaaS, with software. So you've got a wearable that's connected. You've got medical devices that are connected. Indianapolis has this unique ecosystem where we've got really large healthcare organizations. We've got really large manufacturing organizations. It's the number 1 manufacturing state in the nation.
Wait, let's pause there for a second.
Yeah.
Say that again. Indiana is the number 1 manufacturing.
Indiana is the number 1 manufacturing state in the nation. And logistically, it's the crossroads, right? So if you imagine logistics coming in from flyover state, sure, but it's also a huge hub for goods and services to be brought to and taken out from.
Right.
And you combine that with low cost of living, great standard of living, great schools. You've got a really cool recipe for success where entrepreneurs that want to bring their whole self to a state and work on their baby for the next 5, 10, 20 years, this makes it a really cool place to do.
So there's like three-layer stack here, yes. Right? You have the manufacturing with a lot of history, industrial infrastructure, know-how how to make stuff. Then you have a transportation where you can move parts in and out. And then there's the newer piece, which is the software.
That's right.
You actually build the software that then makes those pieces more high value add.
Absolutely.
Is that right? Does
Absolutely.
That sound like it?
Yeah, and I think that hard tech piece actually becomes even more material to that evolution, because now you've got startups working on new hardware, new tech that comes together in a unique way to help those large enterprises as well. So helps logistics, helps healthcare, helps plastic manufacturing, helps all kinds of stuff. And then you combine that with the efforts that the state is making in
Tell
terms
me about that. How is the state helping the ecosystem develop?
Yeah, we've got a number of state organizations and nonprofits that have come together to elevate entrepreneurship for Indiana. And what that means is we've got a hard tech corridor, right? What that means is we've got the number one engineering university in the nation, Purdue, churning out STEM folks, right? So if we've got talent, we've got folks moving there. You've got capital. Connexus is one of the organizations that does manufacturing readiness grants to companies just like that.
Connexus is a state organization?
It's a state organization and a nonprofit. And the IDC, right? So the Indiana Economic Development. So that corporation actually, or committee actually comes together and puts all these things together. There's not just one thing. It's this ecosystem that we've built. And we've got several people that advance that ecosystem for entrepreneurship altogether. And it makes it a really cool place.
And so you have the network, so people are working together, which is absolutely vital. There's this welcome to new people, new talent. You're an example of it. You have the legacy assets of industrial manufacturing, transportation, and then you have the new piece. So this is really the recipe for that success. Really unpack that. Now, you're operating as an investor with HG Ventures. Can you talk about the investment environment?
So HG Ventures is a corporate venture arm of the Heritage Group. We're the largest investor in Indiana. We have a number of other investors, and all of us participate in some way, shape, or form in hard tech. Specifically, HG Ventures is in construction tech, environmental services, advanced chemistries. As you might imagine, that sounds like entirely like hard tech. It's not all of it, but it is a significant portion of it. We also run an accelerator called the Heritage Group Accelerator, which is a uniquely hard tech accelerator. We're one of the few in the United States. Generator has a significant presence there as well. And so the ecosystem of accelerators, investors, all of that coming together, again, you've got the resources that make for Indiana to be a really cool place to start a business.
Now it makes total sense of that Carbon Origins is based in Indiana. We were just talking about them using their virtual reality drivers of machinery.
Yeah.
So this is a specific example of a company that is kind of putting all those pieces together.
Absolutely.
So as we kind of like bring it home here, looking forward. So what is one thing that you want to change the most to unlock the value, that the potential in Indianapolis and Indiana? Is there like one thing?
That's an interesting question. I'd probably say, everything I've talked about is this really virtuous network that we built in Indiana. I want people outside of Indiana to know and recognize that, right? Because the more we talk about it, the more the storytelling's there, the more people think of the Midwest as not just a flyover state, but as a state where you can stop and call home. And that's exactly what I did. I moved from Atlanta. And so I'd love for people outside of Indiana to recognize that this is an option and not just a black hole. Like the Midwest isn't a black hole. There's a lot happening here. And there's a lot of innovators, there's a lot of entrepreneurs, and there's a lot of resources that and a lot of really cool people that'll help you out.
So the great thing is that we're in Cleveland.
Yes.
You were in Atlanta before. Right. You're currently in Indianapolis, and you are an ambassador for all three. And so, your efforts as an example of this success and telling this story, I feel much more confident that the story is going to get out there. And I actually totally agree with you. Is the more people see the opportunity, whether you're in Indiana or you've been there before, or you're thinking about a career in a technology-enabled hardware or many other careers, actually, that make sense there, then I think it's going to be more inevitably this will be successful. The more people know about it, right, the more people will be attracted to it. So, I just want to thank you for being here today and sharing the story with the audience, and look forward to doing some investing with you soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks.
Super. To learn more about One America Works, visit our website at oneamericaworks.org.